Hugh Jackman returns as Wolverine, this time to tell his origin story. Hey, welcome to Vaughn on Movies. I'm your host, Vaughn Fry. Okay, so I'm looking at X-Men Origins Wolverine. Now, before I start, I think there's something I need to show you to kind of let everybody know that maybe I have some credibility, okay? Okay, now anybody who knows what this is going to maybe give me the benefit of the doubt. So that's just Exhibit A. Now, a little bit into this, I'm going to have to throw down a lot of spoilers, okay? I'll let you know about that when I get there, but let's just start from the beginning here. For the most part, we learn that Wolverine has a brother named Victor, who in the comic books and other places you would realize is Sabretooth. But then again, in the comic books, other things, I think they're stepbrothers, but here they're actually brothers, or who knows what exactly. Well, they are war buddies, and they go around and they have kind of they're just enjoy killing stuff. So eventually Wolverine thinks that his brother is a little too bad, like he's got too much of a mean streak for him, and he decides to leave him, and in doing so he leaves this team, this special team with special privileges who go around murdering people for fun, I suppose, with help from the government backing anyhow. Well, so then Wolverine's trying to start his own life, and then they're trying to pull him back in, you know. So then eventually he gets his adamantium graft skeleton and goes on the warpath, and then it's blood, and you know, everybody's going down now. The movie is basically your life story of Wolverine up to the point that he meets the X-Men, I suppose. Part of the problem with this movie is that it's winking at the camera, at the audience all the time, letting them know, hey, we saw the first 3 movies, okay? We remember that. Do you guys remember? So there's a lot of this stuff where you need to understand the other movies, but then there's a lot of things that contradict each other. So I don't know what you can really expect to think about that. For me, I thought it was pretty lazy in that sense. I don't know what to really think about this movie for somebody who is not familiar with the X-Men. I guess if you're not too familiar with the subject matter, you're really not going to care too much to see it, and a lot of it's really not going to add up to you. If you are familiar with the subject matter, you're just going to be aggravated. Here's some reasons why. The treatment of just about every character is just all over the walls. Like, no one who's a fan of any of the characters could actually enjoy what's happening to them. And a good title for this movie would actually be Gambit and the Magical Pimp Cane, because some of the stuff going on here just does not add up. Okay, I've decided to lay down the spoilers here. Things I like about the movie: Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, but here they call him Wade, okay? He's clearly Deadpool. He's mouthing off a lot. He's killing guys. I did not like his acrobatics. I mean, really, I knew something was wrong when you see a guy hit a bullet with a sword. That bullet splits in 2 and kills the 2 enemies behind him. That's a problem in a movie. However, I liked what he was doing. I kind of liked his character. Didn't really like what they did with his character. And what they did with him is, I suppose that they took a lot of mutants and they mangled them up and put them together to make Deadpool, as they called him, which was like some super mutant that had nothing to do with anything that you're familiar with Deadpool doing. That's just, you know, why bother doing that? I can't understand. There's real enemies in the X-Men comic books that they could use. Why does Sabretooth not look like he did last time? Now, they also have adamantium bullets. It's like they're trying to kill a werewolf here when they're trying to kill Wolverine. Why? What? I don't understand the deal there. So he didn't like hearing that they wanted to erase his memory, but they did anyways, because by the end of the movie they shoot him in the head with one of these bullets, and somehow Stryker knew that was going to erase his memory. Like, how could he known that? Has he been shooting mutants that are exactly like Wolverine in the head and getting that kind of result? Like what's the deal with that? the way they're finding these mutants is kind of sketchy. Professor X's thing at the end, where he just shows up and says, "Hey, I'm a good guy." Again, it's really you can tell a mutant anything in this movie, and they will believe you. So you say something like, "Hey, Wolverine, the sky's made out of clay." Oh, really? Okay, I believe you. Yeah, and that's what you're kind of getting here. Much of the movie revolves around people believing anything anybody tells them. I don't understand what was with the way they mistreated the powers that people have here. Like, okay, so this one chick has this suggestion ability, but then Sabretooth's got to say, "Oh, but it won't work on me." Like, what? Sabretooth, what is your ability exactly? Like, things don't work on you, that's your ability? Plot doesn't work on you? Is that what happens? Gambit, I know that he can charge cards up and throw them. He can charge anything and hurl it and create some energy with that. But how come he can make things levitate? Now, somebody was thinking, oh, Gambit, he has cards, right? And wouldn't it be cool if he did some card tricks? Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, great. I guess Blob was pretty well represented here. Blob and the real Deadpool are the only characters that, when they're on screen, are represented fairly. And I'm just talking about Wade as far as that goes. Man, there's the sets are largely virtual, and they don't look right. They don't look right at all. What you see behind me is much more convincing than where the showdown takes place at the end. And how exciting is it to see characters who seemingly can't die try to fight each other to the death using conventional means. Just whatever's on them. Hey, I've got claws, you've got claws. I can't kill you, you can't kill me. Big deal. As far as this Logan thing, like Wolverine's supposed to have adopted the name Logan from somewhere, and I'm sorry I can't remember this exactly, but it's like a guy he killed maybe or something like that. But in this movie, he's Logan and he's Jimmy, and then at the end he loses his memory, sees on his tag that it says Logan, so he thinks he's Logan. You know what? In many ways, the movie's doomed from the start. You're naming it X-Men Origins Wolverine. I think that having seen Wolverine in 3 movies about X-Men and comic books and stuff, Wolverine would have been plenty good of a title, don't you? What's the deal with this X-Men Origins thing? Are you thinking that the audience saw the other movies, but you're hoping they don't remember anything? Kind of like why Sabretooth all of a sudden doesn't realize who Wolverine is, even though he didn't lose his memory for all we know. And I'm talking about during the course of the first X-Men film. You know, the problem with this movie is in some ways it takes some very dangerous risks, and they don't really pay off. If you take risks with these characters and the audience isn't happy about it, you got a problem on your hands. How can the audience really be surprised, though, if you want to base everything on a comic book? So it's just a problem when you're using these kind of source material things. If it doesn't match what we're reading, then we're going to get angry. If it does, then what's really the point of going to see the movie if we already knew what was going to happen? I just wasn't very pleased with this movie, and when I look back at it, I've taken some time to think about it, and there's really not a lot to like about it, but when you think about how it's put together, you really can't say it's wretched. So 2 out of 4 stars for this one. If you're a big fan of the comics or anything really, I gotta say you don't really want to see this one. It's probably a little better than X-Men 3 though. I might give it that. If you're not very interested but you want to see some action and stuff, you might want to wait a few weeks, see what else is coming out this summer. I really can't say a whole lot for this, so 2 out of 4. See you guys later.